So I'm pretty much in an open relationship with a porn star, and yeah, that was the thing I was scared of throwing out there. But she is very open, obviously, I think, and
Yeah, I would imagine. It's probably
No, and it's
probably
been,
challenging to have
No,
a
no, it
close
is, and-
relationship with a porn star. I bet it's.
yeah. I've been learning a lot about myself, but it's kind of gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can fully handle something like this, and I'm at the point.
I get it. You're wondering if this is heavy.
If this is heavy or if this is something to
Yeah.
to break through.
I get it.
And if it's my ego saying because I'm being told and I'm under the impression that regardless of what she does without me, it doesn't change how she feels about me, which is kind of the whole
Right.
premise of it. And I know this to be true for myself because I've ventured off and it hasn't changed how I feel about her
Right.
just because I ventured off. And so knowing that that's true for me, I'm just having a difficult time knowing if that's, I don't know.
If that's
I
right.
just want to feel like, oh, I'm a special.
So
I
basically,
don't
you're
know.
trying to figure out if this is something for you to work through.
If this is to work through,
So
if this is...
here's how brilliant ego is. Ego creates the illusion that you have a dilemma. Ego created both choices. Ego created, do I let go of this? And ego created, do I work through this? Because whenever you're at a fork in the road, you're being asked a new question. What's trying to emerge out of me that I've never known or been before, right? So in knowing that there's one way or the other, already your mind, it's not body that feels either choice, right? If your body felt the choice, you'd make the decision. You'd know when it's time, or you'd know when to move through it. But both of those dilemmas are in your head because you see them evenly, right? Because ego's just bored, and the fact that you're doing what you do, ego's creating a dilemma.
No,
for you.
it's interesting because from the beginning of the first day till now, well, I'm bringing it up because I guess there's still stuff there, but for the most part, it's just like, what you're saying is that, it is just like a choice. Like I'm just making it into something that I've created.
Right.
It's actually nothing because I flip-flopped between, oh, it's heavy, I should let it go, and oh no, this is great, I should just move through it. And it's literally just a choice I've made in a moment.
Right.
And it's probably
But
not
both
either.
choices involve her and not you,
Yeah.
right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is another example of which circumstance is better. And ego is so sly that it took the two things that I was talking about, following your calling, and it made them two mental separate things and made them things to do. Does that make sense? This is so deep, I don't know if that's making sense. But it took something that came out from my heart and it made it a mental thing instead. And it said, which way do I go? And created the illusion that you're in lack in the first place. So let me ask you this. I want you to ask that question to yourself again. I want you to ask that question to yourself. And ask yourself, which way do I want to go with this? Or what is the highest calling to me? And then I would love everybody for a second to ask yourself whatever dilemma you have, because your soul's going to have answers that you can't see. Because if he could see it, he wouldn't have the dilemma, right? So he hasn't been able to access the deeper place because he's creating the dilemma so that he doesn't go inward, because that's how good ego is. Ego's going, let's not go inward. Okay, create this choice out here and get him stuck in his mind creating a certain way. So he's blocking himself from going inward because that's all ego has left, is this little thing where it goes this way or this way. Pick a choice. See, you can't go, and it's creating a this way, and your mind is doing the work, and you're blocking yourself from your heart actually talking to you. So what this opportunity is for you, you have an opportunity here to ask yourself that question. And I want everybody to think of a big dilemma question you have in your life about your career, relationship, what to do. All those questions are future, by the way. Not what am I right now, not what do I love about myself right now. Because there's an illusion of a right or wrong way, because he thinks, this is what you think, tell me if I'm wrong without even, if you do it wrong, you won't get love.
To an extent,
Yeah.
there's a bit of that. I think the deeper part of me knows that I'll be fine. Like,
That's big too, because people say this all the time whenever they're in hell. They go, I know deep down everything's going to go fine. Have you ever heard that? And you've ever said it?
Yeah.
Every time you go through a breakup or a painful thing, or you get broke, or you're in debt, everyone has this one part where they go, I know deep down everything's going to be fine. Now here's my question. What if deep down was the place you lived in, not the vacant house that you look in barely only when you have a catastrophe going on? What if deep down was where you lived, where you knew everything was okay no matter what, and that was where you lived. You bought a home in deep down. So that was a great sentence. You kind of said that. I know deep down I'll be fine. Which means, by the way, do you even have a dilemma?
no.
Right. Now ego goes, so what do we do? And what's funny is ego also thinks whatever decision you make is your life decision. Ego creates this black or white, till I die decision versus you just having a conversation going, right now I'm just feeling some stuff I'm not quite sure of, and living in a little bit more of a gray possibility of love where it's not this way where we can't breathe and we're stuck forever, or this way, where we only breathe and we never see each other. You're saying that you're run by what you do in that one situation with this woman, right? And neither way will run you, because if you know everything's okay, it won't run you. So you suddenly become the space for those dilemmas to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Is that making sense?
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, no problem.
Operated on my heart.
So,
It's supposed to be a funny joke, and then it's like,
oh God, naked comedy. So, that's actually from 5 to 6. Naked comedy is going to be... So I would love for everybody to check out the illusion of their question. I'll get the shoe on. Don't worry, for OCD people like, hey, I can't. No. So, just everyone with OCD, it's your big night. Everything is not aligned. Oh, it's gonna be the worst night ever. Oh, how do I tilt this a little bit? Just with this a little bit like this. Just disaster. All right. Now, and by the way, I want to say, I should have gone with this joke, but I want to say that, do you realize what laughter and crying is? Do you realize I think this is what it is. I think we've created a boundary of how we see life, right? We have this circle that we go, this is the rules and this is how, two people, thank God, okay. Okay. So imagine if we create this comfort zone that we have for ourselves, that this is how life is. This is this bubble, and this is where everything is, and this is what your comfort bubble is. And what happens if something happens outside of your bubble that's beyond you? In fact, when I did the OC, it's cool, right? Yeah. Totally. When I said the OCD joke, I know there were people going, oh God, here we go. There were people that were feeling that, right? I think laughter is you adjusting and readjusting your circle to fit the new boundary. I think it's your body actually going, ha ha ha, I have to actually adjust to this thing. And same with crying. You saw something out of your boundary, and then you try to fight it, and you have to adjust to the thing. And that's why you could see the same joke again, and you might not laugh again. because you've adjusted to that new level. And that's why I could re-talk about Glenn Fry and Joe Walsh yesterday and not cry when a week ago I was, because I was adjusting to the new thing, but now this is my new boundary. So your circle is always expanding. And when you're laughing like that, you're doing this. And that's why the OCD thing actually probably was a louder response, because there were probably people going, I can't even handle this. I have to adjust to the insanity of one shoe. Everyone has to have two shoes in my crazy mind. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's so much. Okay. It's your body expanding. So you have questions that are illusion questions. He had a question that was an illusion question because he knew deep down he was going to be fine. But why don't we meet deep down?